summer.
Jerry passed away in 2011. His kids, grandkids, and great-grandkids are putting together a 50th anniversary show celebrating the start of those summer musicals. Former students from the 60s through the 2000s will be taking part in the show. The plan is to raise money for scholarships.
For a student from Kenmore West and one from Kenmore East who are going to study the arts in college.
Over the years, Jerry touched the lives of thousands of students. I was one of them. And in 1985, I caught up with him as he directed his 39th production.
Oh, Jerry, you were really bowled over with my talent 14 years ago, huh?
Well, I'll tell you, Mike, I was not concerned with your getting into the show. I was concerned with you getting through high school, though. Remember you forged my name on some blue slips? You, cut class a couple of times to come backstage. Gym class was out because you were sick.
Thanks a lot, Jerry. It's been nice talking to you.
The 50th reunion of the Kenton Summer Musical Theater Workshop is August 18th at Kenmore West in the Jerry Starr Auditorium. The three generations of the Starr family will be singing Jerry's favorite song, You'll Never Walk Alone.
And I guess there's kind of a bet going amongst all of us who's going to end up really singing and who's just going to end up weeping.
The story began with Jerry Starr, but his love, legacy, and dedication will continue to shine for a long time to come. For the Now Buffalo, I'm Mike Randall.
We talk about it a lot, the American student loan crisis, a $1.5 trillion of debt just looming over all of us. But it's not just college grads paying off these loans. No, parents now getting sucked in as well. We actually talked to a dad who has a warning to other parents.
Grand total, without interest, we were right at about $99,000. With interest since then, we're probably close to $130,000 now.
That's Victor Turner, a veteran, talking about the Parent Plus loans he took out to send his daughter to a private college. She has a learning disability, and he wanted to give her the best chance at success.
All the loans, I think the highest one, actual payment would be about $130 a month, but there are 7 of them.
Now back in school himself and caring for his new son, Victor's not the only parent risking their financial future for their child's future. In 2016, an average parent owed about $32,000 on loans to help pay for their child's education. According to SavingForCollege.com, that's nearly $3,000 more than what the average student owed. Although students take out more loans to pay for education, Mark Kanowitz with SavingForCollege.com says parents take out more money.
Parent loans are effectively unlimited. They can borrow up to the full cost of education minus other aid received.
While students have a cap on how much money they can borrow, parents don't.
You should think twice because it's a sign that you may be borrowing too much money.
Victor says the biggest learning lesson wasn't taking out a loan, it was taking out the wrong loan. Victor says his mistake has not only cost him financially, but he'll also have to work into his retirement.
I'm thinking at least another 10 to 15 years of work.
A lot more to get into in our lineup. More and more recycling is actually ending up in the dump. We're at a recycling facility to talk about why that's happening. You're watching The Now. The government wants to put the brakes on a plan that would make our cars more fuel efficient. That was actually announced today. Under the current rules, car makers would have to cut emissions enough so new cars are getting more than 50 miles a gallon by 2025. But under the new proposal, new cars would have to hit 37 miles a gallon by 2026. The government says meeting the current standards would require expensive fuel-saving technology and that we wouldn't want to pay for it. Instead, it says we'd end up keeping our current cars that put out more emissions and are less safe. The Trump administration also argues that if our cars get better gas mileage, we'll drive more and be exposed to increased risks on the road. The head of the Environmental Defense Fund says changing the standards would actually increase pollution costs, increase pollution and gas costs, but the change would also make it so that California and other states, they can't set their own stricter standards. All right, let's check our news feed. Papa John's is going on a listening tour across the country. It wants to hear from their customers about how to make things right. It's had a bad year, fighting with the NFL and then forcing out the chain's founder, John Schnatter, for using a racial slur. Pope Francis changing the Catholic Church teachings on death penalty, calling it inadmissible because it attacks the dignity of all humans. Before this, the Church actually taught Catholics that capital punishment is okay if it was the only effective way of defending human lives. And Puerto Ricans who are still living in FEMA housing after Hurricanes Maria and Irma are actually extending their stay again. A judge ruled FEMA can't just abandon these people. No, the program is supposed to expire at the end of the month, but hundreds of people still have no place to go.
The 7 Eyewitness News team is on the road this summer, showing you the people and places that make Western New York such a great place to live, work, and play. And on Tuesday, we took you to the Twin Cities of Tonawanda and North Tonawanda for the first annual Music and Arts Festival. Tomorrow, we're heading to Kenton, celebrating all the things that make this community unique. Come join us on the Village Green tomorrow afternoon at the Kenmore Municipal Building. The 7 First Alert Mobile Weather Lab will be there for 7 Eyewitness News at 5 and 6. Hey, this is pretty cool. The Canal Side Auto and Boat Show starts tomorrow. And get this, you can take the family there for free. The event runs through the weekend and features more than 125 new cars, trucks, RVs, and trailers. More than 50 boats are also going to be on display. If you're in the mood for a new one, the Auto and Boat Show runs through Sunday. And while you're there this weekend, you can check out the Corning Museum of Glass blowing barge. The barge has been making its way down the Erie Canal and will be offering hands-on demonstrations all weekend long. There's so many great events going on this weekend. Andy, and I know especially in Eden with all those corn lovers, they want to know what the weather's going to be like.
It'll be hot, but that doesn't stop anybody from eating some good corn.
Hey, no way.
And the weather this year has produced a very sweet crop of that corn.
Has it? Okay.
So I think we're in for a good one. Showers tomorrow, though. Let's go ahead and talk about what we have out here. I told you I was going to put some timing on this for you to help you plan your day on Friday. That's exactly what we're going to do. As we zero in, you can see not a lot of action early in the morning. As a matter of fact, there's not much going on right through the noon hour. But then once we cross that 12 o'clock mark, we're going to bring in the opportunity for some showers, even some pretty heavy downpours. The North Town's getting into the party, but not quite as much as our friends south of this city. I think from Springville to the Pennsylvania line will be cloudier and wetter than areas from Buffalo to Niagara Falls. Let's go ahead and all the way into Friday evening. Things settle down, and that's the way we stay over the weekend. So that's where the rain is going to be. The most active time of day is noon to 6. As you can see, the thunderstorm there, then we'll settle down. But boy, it's going to be some warm nights coming our way. And by day, we're going to warm up into the mid and upper 80s. Sunday, the hot one. Only chance of rain on Saturday is going to be up in Niagara and Orleans County, and then well into sections of the southern tier, but a dry and hot finish to our first August weekend.
If you have a dishwasher or washing machine that just doesn't clean like it used to, it's probably time to swap them out. But before you do, J.D. Power just released its 2018 top appliance picks. And I went through the list and even did some price checking for you. Maytag comes in as having the best dishwasher. Right now, Lowe's is selling it for just under $480. Refrigerators can be expensive, so you want to make sure if you're going to buy one, you're getting one that lasts. J.D. Power's top pick for a French door refrigerator is by Kenmore. The best price we found for a Kenmore was at Sears for under $1,500. As for a washing machine, J.D. Power gives its pick to LG. The lowest price we found was online at ABT Electronics for $599. But of course, with the washing machine comes a dryer, and the top rated dryer goes to the Kenmore Elite. But because it does have an Elite name, it does come with a hefty price tag. The lowest we found was at Lowe's for $799. All right, 3 news stories for you in our Now News feed. Those popular at-home DNA testing companies like 23andMe, Ancestry, and MyHeritage, they're all teaming up, promising to handle your DNA better. They came up with some new guidelines. Basically, what they're saying is they will get express consent from you when sharing your DNA info with third parties. And Nestle, they're facing a federal class action lawsuit accused of tricking us into thinking that some of their products are GMO-free. And let me tell you, they were not. Nestle makes tons of stuff, everything from Stouffer's frozen dinners to Haagen-Dazs ice cream. The lawsuit says Nestle even designed a seal on its packaging to trick us. Yeah. Do you play Fortnite? Do you even know what Fortnite is? Well, don't worry if you don't. You can hire a tutor. This is a real thing. Parents are now paying up to $20 an hour to hire coaches for their kids so they can better play this shooting style video game. I know, crazy. China doesn't want all of our recycling anymore. Nope, leaving recycling centers across the country scrambling, rethinking how and what they collect from us. The Now's Chris Welch checked out one facility in Oregon, and if you like to recycle, you're probably not gonna like what they're doing.
Every time a truck full of recycled waste is dumped, Bud Mosier combs through it.
So, yeah, plastics.
And he gives each load a rating. based on the number of items he sees that shouldn't have been left in curbside recycling.
So what's your rating scale is on a 5-point scale? Is that?
Yeah.
What would this load have gotten?
This right here, I'd rate it a 3. But for the most part, it's getting a lot better. For a while, it was really bad.
It was so bad, in fact, that for 3 months last year, all the recycling that came through Rogue Disposal's facility outside Medford, Oregon, went straight into a landfill. And they're not alone.
This is a big wake-up call.
See, traditionally, U.S. recycling facilities shipped a lot of their material to China. But last summer, China announced they would ban certain plastics and stop taking any material that wasn't in near perfect condition. And since we tend to put a lot of trash in our recycling, the exported material was a far cry from perfect condition.
When our processors further down the line said, all of a sudden your stuff is too dirty, we won't take it anymore. We're like, what?
So Laura Liebrick and Rogue Disposal came up with a novel idea.
So no more trash, zero tolerance for trash.
In an effort to make their exported bundles as clean as possible, they've stopped taking mixed plastic and glass altogether.
What we're trying to do is clean the material up here at home, so we're not shipping garbage halfway around the world where it might be rejected anyway.
I gotta go look at that. Looks like there's a bunch of styrofoam in there.
Dave Merrill is one of their drivers. He catalogs every infraction to the corresponding address.
Take a picture of the contents of the cart.
They're reprimanding customers who don't follow the new rules.
I will fill out an oops tag and put it on there.
So the next time this house has a violation, their bin won't be picked up. Other cities have started fining customers who don't obey. Rogue Disposal isn't there yet, but Liebrick says these kind of tough measures are necessary.
To get to the point where markets actually want our material again.
Reporting for The Now in Medford, Oregon, I'm Chris Welch.
Wow, thanks, Chris. Meanwhile, every year thousands of volunteers comb Oregon beaches looking for ocean trash to be recycled into art. Check out these sculptures at the zoo in St. Paul, Minnesota. These are part of the traveling exhibit Washed Ashore. The artist takes all sorts of junk and turns it into colorful sea creatures. It's been around for a while, but with the recent attention on banning straws, more people are getting interested.
I think we need to think about the plastics we use